Hey comic fans, Dave here at Ground Zero. It's Wednesday morning. That means it's time for another weekly look at what's new on the shelves at your favorite local comic book store. Now, a few months back, I titled one of my new Comic Book Day videos, Robots Love Comics. And they do. In fact, they want you to know they still love comics just as much as they always have. However, now that the robot revolution is quietly in full swing, well, they've been paying more attention to what's been happening on the other side. And they couldn't help but notice the recent rash of book bannings. Humans going to school boards and libraries with lists of books they don't like and demanding, you cannot read this. Well, robots want in on that action, and so they have come up with a list of books of their own to ban. And in deference to my robot viewers, which at this point I think actually outnumber my human viewers, we are going to include that list in our rundown of what's new on the shelves. Now, about 75 titles this week, so a pretty good shipment of books, however you want to look at it. How many of those books got the robot ban? Well, we're going to take a look and see. We're going to start off with the latest thing from Milestone Comics. The most recent issue of Hardware is on the stands. Robots certainly got excited at the title. After all, what robot doesn't love a book all about robot bling? But then they read it and discovered it was full of humans. Come on, DC, what are you thinking, putting all these people in a book that obviously is so clearly aimed at robots? This book gets the ban by robots. From Joe Hill's line of comics, distributed by DC, we get the newest issue of Refrigerator Full of Heads. Now, robots love them some Joe Hill, even though he doesn't actually write this book. They love all his work in various forms. So they certainly were excited, and they think Refrigerator Full of Heads is a terrific idea. In fact, it's one they use very often. Because if you don't, the heads start to smell really, really bad. However, what they don't understand is why they keep getting in trouble. People get angry when they find their refrigerators full of heads, and yet DC is going to put out a book with that very title? No, they say, this shall not pass. This book is banned. We don't want to get any extra ideas. Also from DC Comics this week, a new series starting, and that is Aquaman. Now, this is kind of what they've been building towards in the Aquaman The Becoming series and Black Manta. All of that stuff is all kind of coming to a head in this particular series, and robots are admittedly pretty intrigued. They'd kind of see how it plays out. However, the problem is right there in the title. It's Aquaman. They want to know, when do we get our Aqua Robot series? Really? After all this time, you can't come up with at least one Aqua Robot series? No, they say. Until we get equal representation, this book is banned. And that goes the same for books that feature Superman and Batman. SpiderMan. I mean, there was like 4 or 5 or more titles with SpiderMan this week, and not a single spider robot? Come on, folks. Equal representation. It's not that hard to do. Just one spider robot. That's all we're asking at the moment. Same goes for you, Iron Man. You may look kind of like a robot, but you are way too Tony Stark for us. Too much human, not enough robot. Not enough iron. And don't think you're getting away scot-free, Catwoman, because not a robot in sight. Definitely problematic if you are a robot fan of comics. Moving over to some new stuff from Marvel, we get the latest incarnation of Ghost Rider. I know Ghost Rider's obviously been around a really long time in a number of different forms, a number of different people occupying the demon chair, so to speak. This one actually takes a slightly different askew look at it, because we've got Johnny Blaze as a mechanic, perfectly content with a very, very dull and normal life. But at night, he dreams he is a motorcycle-riding demon from hell with a flaming skull. Totally bizarre. His therapist thinks he's nuts. Robots, however, don't quite get it. They say, where are the electric sheep? If you're going to dream, shouldn't you be dreaming of electric sheep? No, Johnny Blaze does not. He dreams of demons from hell, and they're not too comfortable with that. So it would get the ban, except they're afraid of Disney's lawyers. So for that reason, and that reason alone, they will let this one pass for now. Not quite so safe, however, is Carnage, new issue. I think it's a one-shot, Carnage Forever, a bunch of different short stories written by some of the best talent in the industry, all about America's favorite alien evil symbiote. What is robots' problem with this book? Well, they say, why is it then when we try to merge with humans, all of a sudden it's everybody's all, oh no, you're trying to turn me into a Cyberman and this is terrible and we hate this, and yet they love Carnage? No, we're not too keen on that. This book is banned by robots. What about the indies, you ask? I'm glad you did, because certainly I love indies. Let's hope robots love indies too. We're going to start with the newest thing from Valiant. Obviously, we love Valiant here at Ground Zero. So what about Harbinger? Robots approve. Finally, something that robots and humans can agree upon. That is Harbinger. Thank you, Valiant. Maybe you will do your part to bring humans and robots together. We'll see. We'll see if it's enough. Because unfortunately, not doing his part is Todd McFarlane. We get the latest issue of Gunslinger Spawn. I know all you human fans out there are really, really excited, but once again, the problem for robots is in the title, Gunslinger Spawn. I mean, we've got King Spawn, we've got Gunslinger Spawn, we've got Spawn, but no robot Spawn? Really, Todd? You can't give us a robot with chains and glowy green flame and all the other cool robot stuff? You know you want to draw it, and robots want to read it. But until you come out with Robot Spawn, they say, all Spawn books are banned by robots. Also new from Image this week is Supermassive. Now, Radiant Black fans knew this was coming. Kyle Higgins is going to spin this really big elaborate tale with everybody fighting everybody, introduce some new characters. Radiant Red's going to, pop out of this series. This is very, very 90s. You can tell that right from the cover. It's a cool square-bound, epic kind of issue, and it is so 90s. It's got these big, cool battle scenes that are giant, very Power Rangers-y, beams that spread out all over the book. Wow, you can't get much more 90s than this. If your eyes can take the strain, you're definitely going to want to pick this book up. And robots probably would be intrigued if it were not for the title. Supermassive. When they see this title, they say, we can't get that Muse song about black holes out of our head. The problem with being a robot is you're cursed with automatic music recall. And once they see this, that song gets stuck on repeat. Good luck sleeping with that. Humans, however, might actually want to check this one out, especially if they're looking for something cool, retro, 90s, day-glow, vibrant. It's here, and, it's your choice if you want to listen to Muse while you read this book. I probably will. From Volk Comics, we get We Ride Titans. Now, this is giant mechs fighting giant monsters, and honestly, it's very much about the families that run them and all the human politics that go. So what is robots' problem? Well, it is just that. They say, why are we getting all of these human stories? Take out the humans and just leave giant mechs fighting giant monsters, and we're all in. Until then, this book is banned. As is Heathens from Aftershock. I like Heathens. I love Heathens. I think it is a great premise. It's Cullen Bunn, who is a terrific, terrific writer. I like everything he comes out with. This one we have notorious evil figures throughout history that are offered the opportunity to work their way out of hell by bringing back escaped demons and wayward lost souls, bringing them back to hell, yet they can't harm an innocent in the process of doing it. It's a terrific story. So what's robots' problems? Well, A, they don't get it, and B, they say, we'll just wait for the movie. So banned by robots. Not banned, however, is House of Slaughter. They're perfectly okay with House of Slaughter. They say, we know it's coming. It's the robot revolution. Come on, humans, enjoy your House of Slaughter, and we will too. Two new printings that robots heartily approve of, and that is new printings of the first 2 issues of The Last Ronin. We get, I think, the 5th printing of #1 and the 4th printing of #2. Robots are like, well, finally, maybe we'll get a chance to read this book. We want to read it too. Everybody else has already read this book, but it's always sold out at the local shop when we try to go in. And, we got new covers to suck in the collectors who feel like they have to have every different printing of this book. So if you by chance haven't had a chance to read this book yet, well, 2 more printings. Robots approve. Moving on to trades, Sin City. Now, Dark Horse is reissuing all the Sin City trades. Finally, that's something that is classic and needs to be on every comic store shelf. This is the 3rd volume, the Big Fat Kill, Volume 3. I like this. Certainly it was back when Frank Miller was really, really at his peak. Robots, however, they used to love Frank Miller, but these days they think he's crazy and they're afraid of him. So they're going to be afraid of Frank Miller. They're not going to let you buy the books if you're a robot. So these books get the robot ban. As does the 7th volume of Ice Cream Man. Now, once again, humans love this book, mostly because it's dark and disturbing and it sort of gets under your skin and haunts your dreams, which again is exactly the problem robots have with it, because they're like, we can't sleep after we read this. No electric sheep in sight, just Ice Cream Man. That is a nightmare for robots. Can you imagine being a robot and have to dream of Ice Cream Man? I think you can. Have a little sympathy. Banned by robots. So are we going to know a book that did or did not get the robot ban? We're going to know one that did not. They heartily approve of Not All Robots from Mark Russell. Now, folks, you know how I feel about this book. I certainly loved it. Robots love it too. So once again, humans and robots can unite in this tale of the upcoming robot revolution. Yeah, it's not pretty, but I love this book and robots love this book. So there you go. Not All Robots. It's finally out in trade. See what Dave's been raving about all this time. Well, that's it. Like I said, 75 titles. I'm not going to make it under 10 minutes this time, so no cookies for Dave. Robots can have all the cookies they want because they're robots. Folks, robot or human alike, please remember the 3 S's. Like, subscribe, and share. We certainly need the help anytime we can get it. And of course, as always, the 4th S is comment, please. Whether you're robot or human, comment. That way we actually know you're watching. And whoever you are, wherever you're at, the world is pretty chaotic. We know this right now. Things are getting kind of crazy. And sometimes you feel like you're not in control, but you can always control how you treat your fellow man or your fellow robot. You can treat them with kindness and do your part. Folks, as always, it's not about having what you want. It is about wanting what you have. We love you. Be kind to your robot and be safe, everybody.